Ah, that was beautiful. Thank you very much. Do we have the name for that
We have the name.
content creator? We'll put it on the thing afterwards, and you will poke me
Yes,
with the
please.
name.
What?
All right.
No. There we go.
The mic is crackling, and it'll go away for the moment. Enjoy our crackling mic. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good day. Welcome to this amazing episode number 49. We've been doing this for a long time. Well,
Yeah,
I
you
have.
are. I didn't. GD today.
Good day.
GD.
Huh.
Your GD today.
Okay. That's a little vague. We can work on that. Thank you. Okay. First things first. Hello, Bjorn. Hello to our mods. Clyde, we have Murph, Sassy, Suggestive, and Faded here today with us. Thank you very much for your continued help. And I would be a horrible person if I didn't take a moment to wish a delightfully happy birthday to Sassy, who is turning something today. I know she's getting older. She's almost catching up to me. Well, I don't think she will. Anyway, congratulations on existing for a long time. Well done, you. And
One more year.
There you go.
There you go.
The other big news I hear is patch 1.5 is out.
Finally. Yay! Woo! All right.
That was a difficult birth. You can say that. We were stuck in what some have referred to as software constipation, which was very uncomfortable.
No one said that. Yes.
I did.
And it was.
I think I did. But now that plug has gone, we hopefully can have a very good flow going.
Yay!
With updates,
Finally.
hotfixes, and more excitingly, DLC. So right now, all of our delightful QA people working hard are looking at the build that consists of what you see on live plus the DLC. And when they give us the thumbs up, we'll be able to push that on to you, our amazing players. That makes sense?
So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
next question. Is it today?
No, it's not today. No,
That's
it's not going to happen today.
what most people wanted today.
We would have liked it, but obviously we need to make sure that it's right. I think that patch took forever. It was painful. However, we did the right thing in waiting and making sure and putting it back on the PTB and making sure that it was good before we pushed it to live. Then everybody out there is going to have an opinion on some of the mechanics and the balancing and all of that, and there are still issues in there, but they will get fixed. That's the wonderful bit about it. And the mechanics will get tweaked. Not tomorrow, because they need to be tested for a little bit by you, especially the balancing issues. It's the same thing we were talking about that.
We were talking about that.
The New Killers comes out 25 minutes later. People write, "Oh, New Killers OP," and you're like, try a second game.
Give
maybe.
it a little time, a little breather here. Try it out as much as you can, and of course, it's time to give us the bugs on the Steam forums. That would be appreciated. If you see any bugs on 1.5, there's a couple of things that we already discussed in Team Ear about 1.5, which we're gonna talk in more detail.
That's the next bit here.
Next bit. Let's go.
Let's go to patch notes. So 1.5 is live. You have the patch notes on Steam. You've probably looked at it if you're interested in that kind of thing. If not, you've just jumped into the game. Or maybe you just like the stream and you don't play the game and you have no idea what we've been talking about this whole time. That'd be weird. Okay, there are a few critical issues on 1.5. One of the ones that we see a lot mentioned on the forums right now is people with loss of progress who are essentially stuck in the PTB. So since there are almost no differences between the build on the PTB right now, which is closed, and the build on live, it means that if you switched and you may not have noticed that you're still on the PTB, and you'll be able to jump into games with other people, and then you won't have progression. The fix for that is very simple. It's exit Steam, and by that we mean not just close it. You have to
Exit.
close the
Completely
process.
actually opt out the beta
Yeah.
first.
Well, yeah. Obviously.
Close the game, opt out the beta, exit Steam, even to make sure maybe
You can restart
computer.
your computer. You know, I personally leave my computer running 24/7, like
Same.
a lot of people.
Same.
Because I have an app on my phone so I can log into my computer remotely and do things. I do that from the couch so I can, whatever.
I do
but,
the same. And I
but once in a while, like every few days, weeks, I don't know, talk to your technical doctor, but you should restart your computer, I guess. This is a good opportunity to do it. Bjorn is shaking his head vigorously, saying, yes, you should do that. As an IT person, he'd know, I guess, or act confident. So yeah, lots of progress, very likely due to the fact that you're stuck in the PTB branch without knowing. So restart Steam, restart your computer, and then you'll be all set.
Okay.
Killer profile. Yeah, so in the 1.5...
Pointing.
Yeah, that's not me.
No, but I'm
Yeah.
pointing because he's going to explain.
So in 1.5, we removed the ability through Steam to see who the killer is. That was always the functionality as intended. We had a big debate about it. We're not done debating it. That was originally designed as part of the original design of the game from 2 years ago, where as a survivor, you should not be able to see who you're matched up against. And as a killer, you should have some information, and then there were details on what you should see or not. It doesn't matter. This mechanic works amazingly well if everybody going into the game is doing this in good conditions and out of a pleasant mind. If you're against known griefers that you've blocked before, if you're playing against someone who's got a ridiculous ping, things like that, it might screw up it will screw up your experience, and therefore people were looking for ways to bypass that. Lobby dodging. A year ago, we were talking about lobby dodging and how we hated it and how we screwed up people because you go into a lobby. And it screws up with our matchmaking also, because we found you a lobby, and you get out, and then it sort of leaves a space and blah, blah, blah. So lobby dodging is a symptom of something that we were trying to eradicate. We didn't eradicate the disease. Anyway, we're advancing in that. But lobby dodging should not be a mechanic in the game. Until we can make it so that you have no good reason to dodge lobbies, we'll try to make it better.
Well,
because ideally, that's what would happen. You would not get matched with people who you blocked. And you would not get matched with, like, as a killer, if you have a horrible ping, you wouldn't be able to start a game, and you wouldn't be matched with people who are at the other end of the world, and so on.
So that's, like, that's the cloud and rainbow kind of
Yes, absolutely.
situation. Right now where we're
For people playing today.
That's what I want to hear.
So a lot of people came to us, you among them, saying there's this add-on out there that people are using to get information while you're in the game, so you can actually figure out if that's a blocked player, and then you can
how
get out
their
of there.
ping is going and everything.
Right now, when I got that, we took that add-on and we gave it to our technical director and to a few of the QA people, because we need to know how that add-on interacts with our game. So ideally, we'd like to be able to allow people to use that if it works well, so that they can have a better game experience until we can fix the game internally to make it better. However, until I get validation from them that the software does not interact with the game in a way that is dangerous, let's put it like that. That's the only reason why we would block it. So right now, I have no way of knowing if EAC will ban you for using it. I think a few people
That's
I
out
know
of our
have used
hands.
it, and they have been okay so far. But if EAC bans you for using it, we will not unban you for that. However, our mods and our own people will not ban you for using that at this point. Ideally, soon I will get a response from my technical people telling me this is how this software interacts with us, and then either we find a
Also-
way to elegantly use that.
Also,
Does that make
maybe,
sense?
Yes, and also maybe the person who did the MLGA can try to contact us. That would be nice. Maybe if you want to talk with them, or I'm just throwing it out there
That
because
would
we don't
be
know
the
exactly.
next step
Yes.
after we've validated that it's correct. But then
Exactly.
again, maybe we discover that it's not, and there's a specific reason that they could change. Whatever.
What we're
But that's later on.
What
I
we're
don't want to
saying
get into that
today
now.
is what EAC bans about this thing is out of our control, but we will not, as moderators, as developer, ban you for using the add-on. That one specifically.
When there's
But we
a clear,
don't know what
but that's it.
EAC will do.
And as soon as we have more information internally about it, we will broadcast it to everybody. We'll make sure that everybody knows. Is that
yes.
a good enough response?
When
for
I
now?
have enough information, I will post on Steam forums to say
Yeah, everybody will
yes
know.
or no, and we'll go on with this. And we
So
can,
that's killer profile. I'll put a check mark.
there you go.
Next one, Brazil exclusive. No. Nothing?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you should talk about that.
Brazil exclusive. So that let's do it again. That's the next one. There is a really cool Brazil-inspired shirt for Claudette that has been distributed through the Brazilian Comic-Con, and it didn't make it into the game, and it's a Steam issue at this point. So essentially, we asked them to enable that DLC to flip a switch. We haven't heard back from them. This should be resolved. Usually, this kind of thing is resolved within hours, maybe a day or two. It should have happened before. It hasn't happened yet. We're waiting. But anybody
We're waiting
who's
on Valve right
well,
now.
we're
about it.
waiting on Valve to respond to us, and they should just flip the switch and then it'll be done. So as soon as that's done, if you enter the code and it says you have it, you just have to now be patient a little bit. You will not lose it because it wasn't in when you put the code and that.
All right.
Makes sense. Okay, so I have a question here. What about the charity pack? Any info? A little bit of info. I don't want to get into details until I have a lot more solid stuff. So we're still very much working on that. We have a long list. Most of the people who got exclusives in the past, anything that you've seen so far, streamers, YouTubers who were able to give you their outfits, have said yes, and therefore will be included into that package. And we are adding a couple of others that, for one reason or another, at the time did not get their exclusives. Now they have an opportunity, so they will be in that pack. And there will be, therefore, a large number of items included in that pack, the profits of which 100% will go to charity. That's it. So when we have more details, we'll get it to you. There's so many people involved in that thing that it's a little out of our hands when these things happen, but we're getting this. We're working on this pretty hard, both of us, and it's happening.
Yes, it is happening, definitely. Someone's asking if we're going to get the DLC before Christmas. Yes.
Which Christmas?
Which Christmas? I could say yes, come on.
Yeah, you can say yes. It's your head.
Will Lori ever get further customizations?
Most likely not. But, yeah. So the terms of the licensing agreement we had with them was for these costumes, period. That was it. But who knows? The world is open to a lot of weird and strange things. Maybe. But we will not just make a new shirt for the sake of it. It would have to be something a little more significant for us to reopen that box and get legal involved and all of that.
All right. Questions about 1.5. I have a lot of people talking about 360 nerfs. I've been personally trying them. The commands are like they don't answer the same way.
The right way.
The same way that they were before, but they are still possible 100%. I've seen streamer do it. I've seen people do it. It's just an adjustment. Give it a few days, I don't know, and you're gonna be able to do it again. That's for sure. Maybe play a little bit with your sensitivity. That's gonna help. Do the 3.6 more with the keys.
Yeah. Well, so that's it. It's the thing is that 360 thing is a very like it's a twitch like millisecond thing. It's for people who are really so in tune with the timing of the game and the way it's made. So obviously, we changed a little bit how the control works, so this very, very fine tuning of your motor skill is going to require a little bit of readjustment, and it's going to take some days.
All right.
Oh, that's the sound of our special guest today that's going to come and help us answer a few questions. So
Hi.
Hi there.
I think I'm going there.
You can wave to people. No. Yeah, she's going in the
You're-
back so she can play.
Yeah, you're
And,
gonna be queen for a bit. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, no, the names are
Queen
taken
for
off
today.
at this point. No, you're not even the queen for today.
That sucks.
Yeah, well,
I'm not the queen today for the
we
do
can do
I-
that tomorrow.
Do I have a headset?
Oh, you don't need a headset, do you?
Well, I wanted to talk to Pat.
Well, it's behind the monitor. There's a headset behind the monitor, I think. Is there a headset
I'm
behind
small.
the monitor?
I don't see.
Nope, that's a cookie. Would you like a cookie?
Sure. Oh no, I would.
No, okay.
All right.
Thanks.
So, we were talking about bloodlust. There's a few questions out there about how bloodlust works, how it was tweaked, what are the different values, how it works. So we thought we'd bring you in to answer a few questions while you're gonna be running around and trying to hit Patricia over the head with a sharp object.
Sounds good.
That made me think that maybe it'd be a good idea to have a segment every week where we actually take one game mechanic and we go in depth on one specific thing.
Sounds
to
great.
give more information, more background to people. So jump in, people. Let us know if you think that would be cool, if you think that would be a waste of our time, if you want to see more
Yes.
stuff from the
and
web
maybe
instead.
before we get this, you really want your stuff from the web back. Maybe before we get this, damn, I can't
You
have
need
her
none
own.
of
I
them.
can't have her own sound anyways. So, I hope she's ready. Can you just?
I'm pretty sure she's ready.
Pretty sure too, but. And I also have the numbers. I made a slide with all the numbers with Bloodlust that you sent me.
Cool.
So if you want them before or after the play test or this.
Might be good to start with that. Bjorn, would you mind putting up our image? Ooh, yeah. Almost. No. The stats image on the bloodlust.
I don't.
If you wouldn't mind.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's
All
the
right,
one.
Cool.
Invigilate. Thank you.
Lovely. All right, so this is Bloodlust as it currently is in the build. Survivors move at a rate of 4 meters a second. The killers move 0.6 meters faster than survivors at a base speed. This speed is also shared by Myers in Tier 2, Wraith, and Hillbilly. The default Bloodlust levels are all the same for every killer. 0.2 meters a second at the beginning, which is the difference between the Hag and the 4.6 meters a second. The Hag moves at 4.4. You get a 0.6 boost at Bloodlust 2 and a 1.2 boost at level 3. These are accumulative. They are not. They are the final numbers, not an accumulation. So at Bloodlust 3, you are moving at 1.2 meters faster, not 2 meters faster. That makes any sense?
I'm
So-
confused, personally.
I'm glad. So at the first level, you'll be moving at 4.8 meters a second, which is 2 meters faster than normally, 5.2, and then 5.8. These are gained over 15 seconds each one, and you lose the stacks. They start decaying after 5 seconds of losing the survivor using our chase mechanic. So if you'd like to start, I would love to show it. Right now on live, Bjorn, whenever you're ready. And on live right now, there are some killers that do not have a Bloodlust resetting. This is the Hillbilly revving, the Wraith going invisible, will both be resetting Bloodlust, as well as Myers 1. Sorry, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are things
So
to come.
the idea actually is, in essence, Bloodlust is only about the chasing itself.
Exactly.
When it's one killer behind a survivor trying to catch up.
Exactly.
That's where it should happen.
Yeah, we want chases are important in our game. Getting hit, downing people is super important as well. Chasing the same guy for 5 minutes gets a little not only tedious but frustrating. That's not gonna work.
No, it's not.
No. It's tedious or frustrating, and chases have to end quicker than what they were currently doing before. It doesn't mean that you can't prolong chases longer than 45 seconds. But now we're encouraging survivors to hide, and you can loop and then hide, or you can vault and then hide, or whatever the case may be. But you have to lose the killer,
Happening?
and get him to lose his bloodlust to survive.
It's amazing.
Let's kill your friend right now.
Yeah.
Further stuff, we are looking into tweaking bloodlust, of course. It has just come out, so we're not going to necessarily do this right away. But one of the ideas is to make bloodlust solely based off of line of sight and not just the chase mechanic itself, which would be pretty cool. It will be a lot easier as a survivor to understand when you're breaking, when you don't see the killer, he's basically losing bloodlust, which is not necessarily the case right now.
I don't know if it's about this setup here. It should be working. We could try to blame Bjorn, but I don't think it'll help.
I thought it was McLean that we're blaming.
No, not today.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Okay. Well,
So let's screw it. Start again.
I'm
can keep
starting
going.
in that thing.
I got plenty
Alright.
of things to say. So, play with your food will also be modified. Currently, it is the exact same play with your food that it was in the past patch. With Bloodlust, this makes us very viable and quite strong, stronger than what we wanted.
Yeah.
So we will be switching play with your food to the following. You'll become obsessed with one survivor, and bloodlust that is gained while chasing your obsession does not decay until your next successful attack. Which means that you can chase your obsession, gain bloodlust 3, and then scoot off into the distance and find another survivor, hit him, lose your bloodlust stacks, chase him again, get your bloodlust stacks, or not, hit him, put him down, hook him, and then do it again. Should be fun. I'm quite excited for that one. Let us know what you think.
What about the hag?
What do you mean, what about the hag?
Well, all the can we talk about the changes that happened? Maybe.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
While
we'll
we're-
get into a few of the
While
Q&A
we're
here.
doing this.
I like that.
Okay, so these are the questions that I get usually from more Murph about the Steam questions that have been posted. They're pretty much as is. Today I was a little upset. Well, not much really, but there's a lot of questions in there that have to do with like one of the least used perks, saying, "Hey, are you gonna rework this perk? It's garbage." And I'm like, well, as you've seen, we tend to, go through all the perks and rebalance them. So I'm going to skip a lot of questions where it said, hey, have you ever considered reworking this perk? It's shit. Have you ever thought about maybe making this perk not garbage? And I'm like, well, first of all, word it slightly differently. It's just hostile for no reason. But also, yes, all these perks are going to get a treatment at some point, but we pass through them at a... I mean, well, we try to be careful with that. We don't want to shotgun approach the whole thing.
That's true.
So we're saying here, someone was asking the weakened state.
Yeah.
If we can go into a little more detail about this new mechanic, how it will affect the survivors and how it will alter the game. I think that an in-depth thing on that would be important at some point.
That'd be really cool.
But we are not sure, like the reason why it's not in the patch right now, it's because we weren't happy exactly with the way it was playing, and we also had not figured out how to deal with all the repercussions
There's
that
a
it
lot of
has.
things that are attached to that.
And it says, lastly, why is it looking like you scrapped the idea? We didn't scrap the idea.
No.
Are you okay?
Yeah, it's just like the
No mouse
control, no mouse pad,
It
and
is.
well, Bjorn's telling me I'm a princess, but that keyboard's horrible.
Oh,
Not
you're-
gonna lie.
Yeah,
Alright, so
we can
I got
probably
it.
get you a mouse pad, but it doesn't really matter. And that's why you should play with a controller.
Okay,
That's
so I
what
should
keep
get
saying.
Bloodlust
That's funny.
soon.
Yeah.
There we go. We got the first.
So if you see
Got
on the
her,
right
so-
side of the screen, you have
It's not about getting her, though.
Bloodlust 1.
Because she's just going to drop, and then you're going to have to restart.
I know can't she cheat?
No, they're playing
Control
live.
Oh.
No, I wanted to show that when you hit. See, I got Bloodlust 1 here.
Yeah.
Now she's leaving. I'm trying to keep line of sight. So now hopefully she's gonna have a stun on me.
Yeah, second level
Nope.
of bloodlust.
Okay, second level, I'm already super fast. Now, if you can stun me, girl.
Yeah, she's gonna get to a pallet at some point.
Okay. So
Level
that
3, level 3, there's no way. There you go.
Okay. So see, my regression is starting. I break the pallet very slowly because I have no... Okay, I
Brutal
found you
strength.
again. No brutal strength. But I still have Bloodlust 1 here.
Yeah.
And then I finally get her.
So now you have to restart the whole thing. You know that.
Yeah, I know.
Unless she has.
So
Dragon.
I mean, what do you want to see? more than that.
I don't know.
I
What
think
else
that-
is there to
It's
tell
how
about
it
this?
works.
I think that was a good example. On the right, you saw the meter indicating, not the meter, but the
Yeah, but the status
icon.
effect.
Yeah.
I need to
We can
point
do it again.
farther because I'm so small.
the other right. All right, yeah. The status effect on your right is the indicator of how many tiers you've got for Bloodlust. 1 is the 0.2 movement speed increase, 2 is the 0.6, and 3 is the 1.2.
So they were saying, why do pallets reset the bloodlust?
So
Could have had a step.
when you're, so it's basically the chase mechanic. Once you start
Okay,
losing
you see the icons there.
on the right, yeah.
Yeah.
The reason that you lose Bloodlust when you're breaking a pallet is because you're standing still and you're not looking at the survivor. If the survivor was in your purview, then you'd be able to keep your Bloodlust going, I think, to a certain extent, but it would start degrading really fast because of the fact that you're not moving at all.
Well, also the idea behind that's the mechanic, but the idea behind is the fact that this is a way for the survivor to actually get out of the chase,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
pallets are always they're
That's
one of the
their job.
best ways to get out of
Yeah.
chases.
That's been their job all game.
That's it.
There we go.
Uh,
So if I lose line of sight more than 5 seconds, like, oh, I don't know where she is.
you do.
Okay, we lost it, right?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna get it soon. See, I wouldn't even need it right now because she's running in the
In the open, yeah.
the open, and I can choose not to break the pallet and just go, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's
Yeah, that
good.
pretty much covers it. You just needed to end on that.
Thank you.
I needed to get it.
All right, fair enough.
I went all around.
So that's
Alright,
it. There are a
so-
few gates that reset the bloodlust, and there are things that will just take you out of it.
Yes, and we're looking into tweaking Bloodlust so that it is based solely off line of sight instead of the chase mechanic as well,
Yeah.
which will make it much easier for people to understand exactly
Yeah.
when you're losing the killer. It's like a Myers and stalking. You know he's not
Yeah,
stalking
yeah,
you when
absolutely.
he doesn't see you.
Yeah, that would make sense. Anyway, so right now we think it fills its purpose. So a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's so good in the PTB at the very, very, very beginning. Why did you make it not as powerful?" And we're like, because the goal was not to make it an end-all thing. It's just it's a catch-up mechanic for something to affect a very specific portion of the game, and we didn't want it to become a new way of doing things. It's just
It's an extra option for the killers to use. And
There you
if
go.
you're running around and you're chasing somebody down, now you have the option to not break pallets and keep your bloodlust, or break a pallet and then go through.
that's
This isn't going to be the only answer to all of our questions and issues, of course. There's more things to do. Bloodlust is the start of it, and I think it's working out pretty well. At the beginning, as a survivor, don't be too frustrated. I'm assuming you're going to be frustrated because you're going to run into things like, even with like I heard you talking about the 360 spin,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
new sensitivities are going to get you a little messed up at the beginning, and you're going to try to do the 360s and you're going to screw up and you're going to fail and you're going to just spin on yourself, and then you're going to realize after a point in time that it's your sensitivity, it's how you click WASD, and then your movements are going to become more fluid and you'll get back to the habitual play style you have. Now, with Bloodlust and how killers are playing, you can't use the same tactics as you did before. You can't just go pallet to pallet to pallet. In some cases you can if you're good or if the killer's not playing necessarily very well. What I would suggest is that you try to, when you pallet stun him or drop a pallet and you have the opportunity to hide, break that time period. Even if it's 5 seconds, 8 seconds of him not seeing you, that means that he's reverted back to Bloodlust 1, and you can try to keep the chase going again and constantly do this until you actually do lose him or until you die. Unfortunately, that's the reality.
I have another question here which you might help answer. It
Please.
says, why did you nerf to the ground the upcoming killer buffs? That's a bit of a bold statement. For example, in Hex, Ruin, and Bloodlust, why are you giving too much attention to survivors' mains and not to both sides when the game is already survivor favored?
So Hex Ruin, we had increased to 8%.
Those are very bold statements, by
They
the
are
way.
bold
I'm just
statements.
saying.
That's okay. That's
Go
okay.
on.
You can make bold statements. Hex Ruin was 8% on the PTB, and that was a lot.
Yeah.
It was really, really ridiculous. 5% felt more reasonable, especially with the 3-second delay, which was a bug. The fact that the Hex Ruin did not have that in the first place was an oversight, if anything.
Okay.
Every skill check causes the generator to failed skill check. Sorry, causes the generator not to be worked on by everybody who's present,
For
and that
3
makes
seconds,
a gigantic
Well,
difference.
yeah.
That's actually really good.
Yeah, so just putting that onto Hexruin on its own makes it super viable. If you haven't tried it out in the new version, please do. I believe it's just as viable as the 8%, just not as brutal when you actually get it.
It's just, yeah. It's mostly a difference in how it's done.
And Bloodlust was really fast. I mean, like, people are complaining now, but it was faster before.
Yeah, it was a bit ridiculous, the first version in the PTB was
It was like
pretty
12 seconds,
intense.
and then it would increase by like 0.4, and then 0.4 again, and then 0.4, and that was just really ham.
Yes.
So this is much better, I feel.
So there.
Okay.
I think that's it, really. There might
Cool.
be other stuff.
There was one thing. I did see
You
them.
saw something?
I saw them. It's the thing you said you didn't want to talk about, but
Well, have you ever considered reworking Third Seal along with other trash perks?
yeah. Well, we didn't have to say the end part, but it's fine. The third seal, we wanted to actually rework and add the dying state and the hooked survivor to the list of auras that are blocked, so that when a killer hits you and your friend is on the hook, you wouldn't necessarily be able. Well, you wouldn't be able to see him until you break the actual hex totem, which would make it a lot more viable, a lot more fun. This is super debilitating for survivors, not knowing where your friends are. So you would want to break the hex totem, which is the whole point of hexes in the first place. There's
Yeah.
supposed to be that counterplay.
And unnerving presence. You want to talk about unnerving presence?
There was one. There's two ideas that are floating for unnerving presence right now, maybe three. Unnerving presence could remove the successful skill check zone, which would be it's like the great, which would be nuts because if you put that with ruin, that would mean that you only get shitty skill checks, so you can't even progress in the
Yeah.
generator. So I don't know about that one anymore, just because that changed. Counterclockwise skill checks. Not 100% of the time, but like once in a while, so that it really screws you up and you
Yeah.
can't get used to it. Faster skill checks or even a smaller skill check zone. That's pretty much what I'm saying.
Just okay. That's that. Yeah, that's creepy.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Was there another one? No, that's it really. As far as Monstrous Shrine.
I would love to rework Monster Shrine to be more competitive. At the beginning, we were exploring to have 2 basements, which would have been interesting, but maybe a bit too strong. And not all maps have 2 basements, which is
Yeah.
something
Yeah, some
it's fun to know.
just
so,
can't.
Yeah, so that's not the answer, but there is an answer. We'll find
Yep.
it. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it.
Cool.
Thank you very much for passing by. Go back
Thank
to
you
your
for
very
having me.
important work,
I will.
and we will continue to try and do stuff.
Awesome.
That's
See you guys out there.
all right. See you in a minute.
Thank you.
Okay, with the play with your food changes, will Hag and Nurse still lose their bloodlust upon teleporting? Yeah. I believe so, actually.
About what? The nurse?
The Hag and Nurse teleporting will reset their bloodlust,
Yeah.
even with the new changes.
Yes.
All right.
Imagine
We-
a nurse that's following you, that's missing her blink, and that's getting bloodlust out of it.
That would be horrible. We can continue on the Q&A, or we can go to the community report. Because technically the community report was supposed to have happened before we got to the
we
Q&A.
can go
but
to the community report.
Go through it.
I can tell you guys. Actually, this week I reviewed the priorities, or more like what we're doing right now in the team and what we're planning for the next few weeks, next few days, next few months. Important. This is not. Every day I am checking the Steam forums, Reddit, everything for what's happening, what's boiling,
Yeah.
what are going to be our problems community wise. So of course it's an ongoing process. So every week I'm going to tell you about what we do here, and normally we talk about the issues that you guys tell us anyways.
Yeah.
So first community report was really extensive.
There's
The
a lot
next
of stuff
ones,
in there.
yeah, the next ones are gonna be more lighter, but I'm gonna post more on Steam about it. All right, can we? Okay, so
There you go.
there we go. So the priorities that you guys absolutely know by heart now, because it's been 3
Yeah.
weeks, right? Stable 1.5 update. So there will be fixes, but please report the bugs on Steam forums, right?
Yeah.
DLC. New content is on the way.
Yeah.
We did 1.5 Still, we're talking about hotfixes, but next step is what? DLC, people.
Yep.
3, community issues and backend, right next after the DLC, and some issues are already been tested or being tested right now.
Yes.
Cosmetic packs, we are working on that right now. Community activities, I am going to talk actually about
Tournament?
tournament, we're not putting it out there yet because
we'll
it's
shut
not
up
ready
now.
with
Move on.
all, but we're going to have something really interesting in tournament. Really, I don't want to say soon.
No,
This is-
don't. Just don't. Move on.
All right,
New guidelines?
Customer service.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Customer service. So I worked on that really hard with our customer service team. We are reviewing and installing new guidelines for customer service. And when I talk customer service, I'm talking when you open a ticket with us. So through the Dead by Daylight at bhvr.com.
Oh, so Murph is saying, please report bugs on the Steam bug report subforums.
Bug report subforum. Thank you, Murph. Thank you. So about customer service, yeah, we are reviewing the new guidelines. We want to say don't hesitate to open a ticket. Starting next week, they're going to be treated with the new guidelines.
It should be much better.
Should be much better.
So put it to the test.
Put it to the test. Things that you can report or talk to on tickets, right? Hacker cheaters, some requests, bug or technical difficulties. We're going to try to show you where to go to have the answer. Maybe have someone to answer specifically for that. Ban appeals.
If you have a valid reason.
If you have a valid reason.
If you're like, oh, I cheated and I got banned and I'd like to not be banned, well,
That's probably not going to be a valid.
I mean, you can still put it in. We have a system in place that will be treated and end up being rejected.
Exactly. Things that we don't answer to. If you ask for another person, it's never going to be answered through the ticket.
We're saying, oh, this streamer is awesome. They should get the Twitch shirt. Like,
It's not going to be answered. No. And also, if you send us ticket just to insult, we're just going to ignore it.
it's gonna be.
Sorry,
No, but even worse is you're sending insult and it's gonna go through an automated response.
Yes.
So
because
really,
we have
you're
word
getting
filters
nothing
and
out of it.
everything. It's not going to get answered.
Yeah.
If you guys send tickets in other languages,
We do have translators.
we do
but
have
it's-
translators, but it's better if you can send it in English because it's not every language that we have someone
No.
for. And yes, that's English almost only, I want to say. That's basically what I had to say about
good.
that. So starting next week, we're going to have new guidelines. I'm excited because stuff is going to be organized.
So here a good point from Faded also saying, if your game is crashing or not working properly, go through the master fix list in the technical support subforum first before writing in.
Faded did an amazing job. He put together every issues that we have an answer to. Every technical issues that we already have an answer to. Before even sending a ticket, go to the forums, look through the issues. Maybe you're gonna find your way out of it before you send a
And the
ticket.
reason we're saying that is that you're going to get your answer much faster by doing that, and you're going to be able to play within a few minutes because the fix is already there, as opposed to sending in the message and then getting an answer a couple of days later, maybe, that'll tell you to go check on the forums, and then you're going to get your answer, but much later.
Exactly. The next double blood point. When?
It has not been scheduled yet. The next
Okay.
double blood point. Yes, right now, Faded is getting all the credit. I'm sorry. I'm not really.
is
I'm
someone else worked on that? I am sorry.
So it says that suggestive or
Suggestive.
delightful Dick Fort worked on that and should get.
Sorry, suggestive.
It's okay. All of our moderators tend to share the credit for stuff, I think.
Okay, well, our mods did that.
Yeah. I'd say mostly suggestive.
Okay, then I'm sorry. I'm
All
very
right.
sorry.
That's the community report and the customer service address. Is that it?
Yes.
I'll put a check mark here. I like doing that.
Oh, I want to say something. Like, I do other stuff than being on the forums 24/7. So, like, don't get mad if I don't answer your post specifically. I do have work that's not seen by the community that I have to do. And sometimes I cannot answer personally every request because I get a number that maybe you don't want to know, but
Yeah, it's fine.
of requests a day.
There's a lot of you out there.
Yes.
All right, let's go through a few of the questions quickly right now. Okay, so that's addressed. That's good. We talked about that. Okay. Oh, can we have the option to switch the Survivor and Killer chase music? I'd love to be able to hear Blood Trail on Killer. This would work like how Myers' team work on both sides. It's an interesting thing. I don't think we'll put it as an option because the music tracks are so embedded in the gameplay, and sometimes, anyway, it'd be a little strange, but I mean, it's not an impossibility, but most likely what's going to happen is we're going to have more, what?
No, I had a good question.
Okay, more music being added to the game and more variations.
About Bloodlust, can you change the Bloodlust indicator back to the one on the PTB with the decaying increasing indicator circle? Because that was a design choice. I think they changed it between the two. It's been
it was not
discussed.
just for the Bloodlust, it was so it's consistent with everything else also. I mean, if we realize that nobody likes it or that it's not, actually if it doesn't do the job is probably what would be the main motivator to change it.
I think it's because it feels like you're not getting it, and then one in a sudden you get something, but you can't keep track on. And then for the decisions, maybe it makes them like, do I break this pallet? If I see that I'm almost done to my next tier, maybe I'm gonna take another path or whatever.
It's a valid point. We'll look at it, but it's another one of those tweaks to the mechanic that needs a couple days, maybe a couple weeks before we figure out that that's not the right way to do it.
Yeah, we need to
that
actually
we can do
play
it
it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will Calm Spirit ever affect the birds on the boat on the swamp? It absolutely should. That is a bug. It has been logged into the bug database.
Okay.
So it should. All the birds should be affected by this. There's just not a different breed that are not affected.
There's both birds and other birds.
Both birds, yes.
Both birds.
Can you show us one perk of the new killer? No. I cannot show you the perk, but I can talk to you about it. So I was asking Dave earlier, and he's like, "No, we can't show the icon because it would tell you too much, I guess. And then we can't say the name of the perk because it also contains important information. But we could talk about what the perk does, which I think is going to be very interesting. It says, I'm going to remove some of the flavor text and some of the description just to make sure we get to the meat of it. But it says, while in a chase, your terror radius is increased by a certain value in meters. Otherwise, your terror radius is decreased by a certain value and your field of view is increased. What that means is, essentially you end up with a killer that has two modes. Either you're in a chase and your terror radius is much bigger, so abilities that have to do with the terror radius would then be amplified. Or when you're outside of the chase, your terror radius is much smaller, which makes you a little more sneaky, and your field of view is bigger, so you have a better way of finding people. I think it's a very interesting perk. So there you go, another sneak peek at what's coming on the DLC. Yeah, it's gonna be. Oh, and the field of view gains do not stack with other things that may influence your field of view.
So not with Shadowborn, for example.
That's it.
Thank you.
So there, that is the perk, one of the perks coming to the next killer.
Is it allowed to change the icons of the perks since it gives no advantage to the gameplay? In order to do that, you have to touch the save files, right?
What?
If some people change the icon,
The actual icon of the perk?
The picture of the perk in the game HUD.
Okay. Well, modding your game? might end up getting you banned. That's all I'm gonna say.
I wouldn't do it if I were you.
I mean, it's if you're playing at home by yourself and it looks different to you, I'm not gonna complain. But
If
if you get banned because of that, your ban appeal will be rejected.
and it's probably going to be through EAC anyways.
Exactly.
So we're not going to have any ways to revert it.
So new perk is OP. We know.
Your perk is OP. Of course, 5 second.
Also,
never
it's a
played
trash
it.
perk. Will it be reworked?
Oh, okay.
So there.
So it's OP, but it's trash. All right, I get it. So maybe try it before you actually say stuff like that.
No, but I think there might be a little bit of
A little
comedy involved in
Just
there.
a little bit.
So Murph is saying, can you mention when bugs are reported on the bug report subforums, they will not get a reply unless the devs need clarification, but the bug has been seen if it's posted there. So
Yes.
let it be known that. Is it possible to lower points for the initial unhook? Right now, survivors make reckless saves and are rewarded 1,500 points. These saves force the killer to turn around and become a camper. That's it. Again, I have a problem with that description, but because if you turn around to hit someone that's saving someone else, I don't think that's called camping, but that's debatable.
If the killer didn't even have the time to leave the hook,
Even
and
if you
someone
left
saves,
and there's a save
he's
happening
not
and
a
you turn
camper.
around, anyway.
He's just didn't have time to leave because
But so
your ass
the
saved the
person
other
was saying
person.
perhaps it would be better to reward points based on the unhooked survivor's uptime after the initial save. So if you save them as soon as they're on the hook, like literally you follow the killer and as soon as he turns around you unhook.
I'm not
It would
sure
make no
because-
sense because it pushed the problem to later. People would just wait until the last minute and do it, and then the killer would come back and it would be the same sort of deal. The idea is yes, it is a reckless save because it is dangerous to
And
go and
it's
grab someone that's on the
reckless.
hook.
Yeah.
That's the point.
If someone tells you you can't because someone unhooked not even 5 seconds after you left, well, that's their way of looking at it. It might be wrong.
Yeah. So after reading some posts, people are saying that the hag is getting temporarily removed. Is this true? And why is she being removed? Because she's
What?
unbalanced.
What?
First of all, I don't know which posts you've read,
What?
but she is not getting removed either temporarily or otherwise. And she well, as far as being balanced, she's gonna be tweaked for sure. We know that. But yeah, no, she's not getting
Not
removed.
gonna lie, she feels a lot better right now
I love
than
playing
she
the hag.
was.
Anyway.
I never I'm not a killer marine. I started playing a lot more killer when I got this job. I never had fun on the hag before
Yeah.
the patch because now she feels really responsive. I didn't play enough yet to tell you my real opinion on it. I faced a couple of hags.
Yeah.
We had fun. I forgot to crouch. I got caught. You know,
It happens.
things. You need to adapt.
Can we get a fix for the game working through Steam Link? So right now the game loads okay on it, but then controllers or mouse and keyboard outputs do not work because obviously EAC considers that macro or a third-party thing in the middle. So that's something that's being worked on between Steam and EAC right now. We have very little to do with that, except maybe reminding them once in a while that it's important. Sassy is saying Hag is by far my favorite, and since it's Sassy's birthday today, she is absolutely right on every account.
So people are talking about saboing traps. So if traps are now 18 seconds, 16 I think, I'm not sure. For Sabo, can we get an increase of blood point because it's still 250 boldness, but triple the Sabo time? It was double the Sabo time, and I think it's 16 because I think it was 8
Yeah.
to 16. The point is, I tried it yesterday. I tried some Sabo games. Yes, I know. I'm not.
You have to.
I have to. And as a survivor, if you want to Sabo a trap right now, you need to think twice about it because it takes a lot of time. And I think it's fair to the killer that his power, the removal of his power, takes a lot of time. Right? Am I right? Am I wrong?
I was reading
Yes.
something
You were
stupid
reading?
people are saying about stuff,
Okay, that's
and I was laughing inside.
nicely put. But yeah, the point is, if you're going to remove completely the power of a killer, and 8 seconds for every trap.
Yeah,
That was a bit unfair. So I think it's still fair for the Saboing. We're gonna try it more. We're gonna play it. And
There
see
might be
what's up.
tweaks still. A question I really enjoyed, and Dave did too. The now what I do usually in the last few weeks, I get this series of questions sometime in the morning, and then I grab Dave at some point and I go, okay, lightning round, and I sit him down and I ask all these questions in a row to him, and then we made notes, and then I go and check a few other people that have possible answers, and so I have answers to give you. But so today I had a question that really made me happy, and Dave too, and it says, where did the Wraith find a wailing bell? Which is a great question, and the answer is it was a gift from the entity. Yeah, so during his transition, he got a gift.
I have a question. It should take some time, but totems are quicker. But totems are not quicker. Are they? Yeah, they are.
I think it's a
Yeah,
little
they are.
faster.
They're a little faster, but they are not the power of the killer. They
No.
are a perk, and that's completely different.
Yeah.
And it's as if
It's
I
also
say,
a gamble.
Yeah.
'Cause every trap is useful.
No, yeah, you're
not
right.
every.
They are faster now.
Okay. I'm from Russia. In the menu, training videos, you have no Russian language. I'd like to help you fix it. So that's very nice of you to offer that. The whole tutorial video stuff is, well, actually, it's not in the new, the 1.5.
The what?
The tutorial videos
No,
are
they're
not to be
not.
found
No,
in
they're
there.
not.
They were outdated, and they are not the way we want the onboarding to happen. So we are going to work on that right now, and we will need some translation, which we will go to our community again to get the best possible translations. And if you're interested in helping with that, you can check the Steam forums that have to do with foreign language and how it's used in the game.
Oh, the perk rarity.
Yes.
So the perk colors have changed, and it bugs a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay, why?
Okay.
Why did they change? Why
I'm
don't
not
I
sure.
have my pink perks anymore?
I'm not sure.
Because it's hard to find now that everything's purple almost. So
I'm
and
not
why?
sure. We'd have to get Sarah to talk about it. She's
Okay.
sick today, unfortunately.
yeah,
I
I
hope
know.
you get better, Sarah. I don't have the details
Okay.
on that, but it's the rework of the rarity system for everything in the game. So everything will be coherent now. But yes, so it affected the perks.
Okay, thank you.
Have you ever thought of granting survivor points when they wiggle on the killer's shoulder trying to get out of their grasp? Wiggle points. That has been discussed a few times. And right now it is still not a thing, the wiggle points. It is a subject of some headbutting.
1.5 DLC community issues or
all right.
issues in general.
Will there be a time when the overall lighting, atmosphere, and look of the game matches what we see in the post-game scoreboard screen, colloquially called the fog room? The lighting in that screen alone is what I wish the rest of the game looked like. Strangely enough, it is not very different from the lighting of every other level. The color, the tint is slightly different because it's its own. And there will be other levels with other lighting. So probably the closest thing is the Asylum. It's probably the closest to what you have because there's not a strong color. It's like grayish, white, yellow in the Asylum, as opposed to all the other levels who have a very strong color. No, there will be other levels, and they might come in closer, but we're not going to do a specific one with that. When the console version is out, will console players be able to play with Steam players? No. Also, thank you for continuing to work on this game to make it better. Having your original concept be liked is hard, but you made it. And I've met amazing people. Thank you to all.
I wanted to read that one.
No.
What have you done? Angry Pug shaved his beard while playing Dead by Daylight. Yes.
We are not responsible for facial hair issues that are not in game.
Sorry, I had to read that one.
But he does look like a baby now.
I didn't
An
recognize
adorable
him.
baby. But still.
Okay.
And that's probably my second favorite question today. It's by Bea Bird. Anyone still at Behavior that worked on Jersey Devil, Bugs Bunny, Lost in Time, or The Grinch? I enjoyed them as a kid. Give them a call out and or thank them for me. So I actually went around the team. We have 3 or 4 on the team that are like 10 plus years at Behavior. And like Brad, the lead QA, and David Pronovo, one of the animators, are probably the oldest ones. Johnny Sabelli and Phil Ivanovich on the art team, also Pan. So a lot of people who've been 10 plus years, and most of them came in just after these projects. There are probably 3 or 4 people in the whole company right now that date back from the days when Behavior was in Quebec City. Before they moved the company to Montreal. That's JF Vachon, who's in charge of pretty much everything. He's got a business card that just cannot contain all of his titles. David Tardif, who's in charge of every artist in the building. And Maria, who organizes all of our paychecks, among other things. So Martin Saint-Don at Network IT also has been here for as long as, well, forever. So these people, I think, worked on those 3 games you're talking about. So there's still a few people, but nobody from the Dead by Daylight team. What were you pointing at?
Can we try out Trapper starting with all of his trap? No, not with the buff that the trap placing got.
Oh, yeah, no, that would be ridiculous.
That would be ridiculous. I was pointing at this because it's -5.
Oh, really? Okay, then quickly, let us... I'll just... okay, there's... Okay.
There's a lot of questions about pallet breaking animation. And the fact that you don't get points from breaking pallets. Apparently, from what I've read, you still get the point and it's a visual bug. But I definitely logged it in the bug database.
All right.
There we go.
All right. We are going to some of the stuff we found in the web. First of all, okay, yeah, let's go to this one. Do I have the names here? Yes. So this one is from 666 Blaster. I like it because it looks like some sort of anime or whatever
Looks
crazy
like
thing.
sci-fi-ish.
Yeah. Love it. Very strange to get the rate in there, but it works very well. The next one is one of the most ridiculously well done cosplays I've ever seen. I contacted this person because I wanted to know how she did the Legacy Prestige thing. And for the clothes, it's acrylic gold paint. And for her hand and her face, it's edible gold paint that you use
That's
in
amazing.
dessert
I
making.
thought it was like Photoshop.
And they bumped it a little bit, like
Damn.
the brightness, but really that's how the picture came out. It's madness. It's some of the most amazing stuff I've seen. And
That's
well
really,
done.
really good.
Really well done. Next one is Kitty did this for Up Diet, I believe. I love it. It's just beautiful.
He's so
it's just
buff.
great. Yeah. He took the rate's advice and skipped leg day.
Yeah.
Next one, we have Nia Art. It's hard for me to skip Nia Art, so we have little Lucis, I believe, that made this. Looks good. Thank you very much. Take the Lemons is currently working on what I expect will be a mind-blowingly amazing clay little...
Figurines.
Yeah, figurines, a little diorama of the nurse and the raid hanging out. Maybe bookends would be good with that. Anyway, well done. I look forward to the ending of that. And then the Tenon, I believe, is the name I have for this. Created this beautiful representation of Bond.
If anyone here was watching the Bond of Hate tournament, you can see that it was not in the same,
No?
no.
So that was from the web. I also brought a little video that I'd like to show, which is very funny because we were working on a presentation that had to do with a few things about the prototyping of Dead by Daylight and so on.
I have a really good question, really quick. You guys got something special planned for 1 year anniversary? Yes.
Yes.
You're working on it, marketing. I am. Everyone together. We're working on something.
When you say
really
marketing,
cool.
you can just say Paul.
Paul Ali. Olivier.
Yeah, Olivier's working on it.
Right?
But I
Other
mean,
people.
we can skip him.
That's why I'm doing like
He's
marketing.
fine.
the
No,
whole
he's
team.
nice. He's just a little French. It's okay. No, it was in performance review this year. We told him it's great. Just try to be a little less French, and we'll be fine.
They wanna know when you're gonna wear the unicorn thing.
Yes, I assume they would want to know that.
All right.
Okay, so
Back
the
to-
little video essentially was we were talking about the prototyping of different projects, mostly Dead by Daylight, and this came out, and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. We have to show it. So it talks about the very, very original prototype of Dead by Daylight, and then it shows what Dead by Daylight is today. But that video dates back about a year and a half, so that's before the beta, and so you can see, yeah, this. Yeah, that's the original killer.
And
Dead by Daylight
today was a year.
And you can see the original Meg that's in
that
the
was
intro
Meg?
movie. Yeah. And the Mori of
The Mori's
the
actually
trapper was
really
completely
cool.
different. But it makes no sense with that weapon, though.
I know, but it's cool.
Anyway, so I thought that would be interesting to share with you out there. You're always interested in the little tidbits that have to do with the old stuff. Yeah, no,
Apparently it
the
was a little
model,
bit
it's not a TF2 engineer.
loud.
It's actually the default guy in Unity, because that prototype was done in Unity.
Okay.
So we took like free assets from the Unity store just to make stuff up really, really quickly. So that's the default Unity guy. And then the killer is a big blob monster that we found online. It looks super cheap, but it was perfect with a weird growly noise. It was a lot of fun, and we keep reminding ourselves of our roots because it's important. Right.
Yes. So
What else?
upcoming lunge change. There is discussion about lunge change, but it's not been.
Oh, someone is saying that your invisible cup, is freaking them out.
Okay.
It's almost invisible.
It's Ghost Cup. No, not fifth killer letter. No.
No,
Not
no,
gonna say
no. Hang on. Seriously, it's not gonna take long before you have it in your hands. We
Not
have
gonna release a date, but we can
No.
say.
repeat news and announcements. Oh, by the way, there was a press release. I don't know if you've seen it, but dates have been given for the console now. We kept saying summer, and now there are dates. Go and look for them. So, news and announcement. First of all, most importantly, happy birthday, Sassy. Then patch 1.5 is out, if you haven't noticed.
Yes.
It's amazingly out. And I do not have words of wisdom for today, but I brought back the word of the day. I'm a bit of a enthusiastic linguist as much as I can, and I actually studied to be a teacher. I could have sidestepped this whole profession, but instead I will give you today's word, which is pultaceous. Pultaceous. Use that in a sentence if possible. The definition is it's an adjective. It says macerated, softened, and nearly fluid. So, for instance, digesting a piece of meat or something in your stomach after a few hours, the state it's in could be called pultaceous. It is almost fluid. It comes from the Latin word meaning porridge.
Thank you for this very vivid image in my head now.
My pleasure. And
Okay.
on that, we wrap up this 49th edition of the Dead by Daylight Weekly Twitch. Thank you very much for joining us, all you people. There's many people.
Yes.
And wish a happy birthday to Sassy. And then come join us in the FUG and murder each other and enjoy the game. Give us your comments.
Thank you.
She will let us know.
Yes.
Bye.